Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. As the name suggests, this video is about some MGB numbers, so let's get right into it. The MGB Roadster production started in 1962 and was joined by the GT in 1965. Production ended for both in 1980. Although sources vary on the exact numbers, our research suggests that in that time, in all, 386,961 Roadsters and 125,282 GTs were produced, making a total production volume of 512,243 cars. The split was 76% Roadsters and 24% GTs. The V8 was built in much smaller quantities with just 2,591 V8 GTs. A factory V8 Roadster was never officially built, although it was rumoured that Don Hayter drove a V8 Roadster for some time. So, to put this into context, if you put every MGB ever produced together nose to tail, the traffic jam would be 8,000 miles long. That's more than the distance from Land's End to John O'Groats, or for our North American audience, roughly the distance between New York and Orlando. So, where did the standard cars go? Well, of the Roadsters, 336,979 or 87% were exported, leaving just 49,810 sold into the home market. The GT was different, with over 50% or 64,907 sold into the home market, whilst just 60,416 were exported. So overall, more than 3/4 of all MGBs were exported. Now, nearly all MGBs were built in Abingdon, but some 10,000 were built overseas, 9,000 in Australia, and the remainder in Ireland and Belgium. So how was that production split over the years? Well, production figures for the B-Series car fluctuated across the 18 years, peaking at nearly 40,000 units in 1972, and it was only in the starting and ending years that production dropped below 20,000 units. So, how many are still around? Well, figures are difficult to obtain, but the UK data suggests that around 25,000 MGBs are still on the road, with a further 13,000 declared as SORM, the UK statutory declaration that the vehicle exists, but isn't currently on the road. Now, whilst we can't be totally confident of the precise numbers, that means that over a third of the cars sold into the home market still exist. We did find it more difficult to get figures, especially in the USA, as many exported vehicles were re-imported into Europe. But if we assume the same percentage as the UK, then well over 100,000 MGBs still exist in North America. Actually, given the climate, the percentage is probably a lot higher. An impressive figure given the car went out of production over 40 years ago. So, what about the car itself? Both the Roadster and the GT are 12 feet 10 inches long, that's 3,911 millimeters in metric, and 5 feet or 1,524 millimeters wide. Wheelbase is 7 feet 7 inches or 2,311 millimeters. Weight-wise, the GT is a little heavier. I guess it has a roof at 2,190 pounds, which is 993 kilograms, compared to the 2,030 pounds or 920 kilograms of the Roadster. Ground clearance for the standard chrome bumper car is 4.5 inches, whilst the turning circle is just 32 feet. Slightly more than the 25-foot turning circle required for a London cab, but interestingly, almost identical to the Mazda MX-5. Now, there's a coincidence. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, it'd be great if you give it a like, or even better, subscribe to the channel. Your support is really appreciated. So, back to the numbers. So, what about performance numbers? Well, they varied a little over the year, with the Mark I Roadster having a top speed of 105 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time of 12 seconds, whilst the Mark II and III improved these figures with a top speed of 107 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time of 11 seconds. The GT was slightly slower to 60, with the Mark I at 13.5 seconds and 14 seconds for the Mark II and III. Clearly, with a 3-litre straight-six engine, the MGC's performance was more impressive, with a top speed of 120 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time of 10 seconds. The V8 improved these figures, with the Rover V8 engine developing 193 pounds-feet or 210 162 Newton meters of torque, giving it a 0 to 60 time of just 7.7 seconds and a top speed of 125 miles an hour. Fuel consumption was never a strong point, with quoted figures for the standard 1800cc car between 22 and 28 miles per gallon. Truly terrible in modern times, but given the B-Series engine was designed in 1952 and the basic design predated this, it's probably not surprising. The surprising thing is that the fuel consumption of the V8 is broadly similar at around 25 miles per gallon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our ramble through a few MGB related numbers, maybe even learned a couple of things you didn't know. As always, thanks for watching and take care.